it's meant to be a group channel, but I have been responsible for all the videos so far, bar the Warframe compilation.
Well, your days of watching Deltarune videos are over. I'm here to make the new Warframe video. Hope you guys enjoy. Before we get into the video, major spoiler warning if you have not watched the TennoCon demo trailer for Tau or played the old Peace quest. In this video, I will be discussing what we can expect to see in new Tau quests coming later this year. I'll also be discussing some theories that I have. With all that said and out of the way, let's get into it. First, let's discuss what Tau is. Tau isn't a planet, it's a system that the Orcan Empire wanted to capture, due to their resources and population running very low. For the Orcan Empire, Tau was a lifeline that they needed fast. But there was one problem. They would have to travel through the void. The only problem with that is that they never traveled through the void. And they didn't want to take the risk, because the void was a vast, unknown area that they had not explored. So they decided to send sentient robots over, which will be called sentients. They were made to adapt to anything, and they were also able to reproduce. Their goal was to create cities and towns for the Orcan Empire when they decided to travel over to Tau when it was conquered. The one thing the Orcan did not predict was that the sentients would grow a mind of their own. This would bring on the Old War, which would last for centuries. I feel that this is a very important topic, so I will go over it in its own separate video. But for now, let's just continue. The first thing we see in this demo is the Lotus fighting sentients during the Orcan era, which is when we were in the reservoirs. This is also the first time we get to see the Lotus's power. We also get to see the exact moment that Lotus puts the moon, Lua, into the void. We also get to see how much she loves us, who she calls our children, because she cannot have children of her own due to her traveling through the void and losing her ability to reproduce. We also get to see the Lotus have an interaction with none other than the Indifference, or the man on the wall. And I believe that the Lotus did actually make a deal with the Indifference, as can be seen in the next scene, where we see the Indifference holding the Lotus in this kind of animal form, showing us that he actually treats everyone who made a deal with him as a pet. Again, confirming my theory that the Lotus has made a deal with the Indifference. Our Drifter also says after this that there's something in Tau that the Indifference wants, which I will get into a theory later. It also brings up the question, why can't the Indifference get it himself? There could be a lot of answers for this, but I'm gonna go with the theory that the Indifference is a fat chud. Let's get to see the vessel, which Entradi created to fight the Indifference. They're basically bigger warframes. Speaking of Entradi, we actually find out that he is alive.
Done.
We also get to see him patching up a warframe by the name of Briscoe, which he created. This will be the warframe we'll be using during the quest, but I believe we won't be using it for the entirety. There's also something I would like to note here. The way Briscoe stands is the direct stance of Lloyd, who, if you don't know, is Entradi's lover. This is the best one I could find, but he's literally standing exactly how Lloyd stands. Entradi tasks Briscoe with working with the Hundra and finding out his plans, as he states, if the Hundra is still alive when we arrive, there will be war. As we see Briscoe walking through the slums, this really gives me a vibe of Coruscant, if anyone knows what that is. I should also mention this world has sort of a crime lord kind of vibe, as the Hundra is represented as the Kingpin, or the drug lord of this place. It's also made clear that Briscoe is the last warframe on this planet. Even Entradi and all the enemies say it. We also get introduced to something called the Black Rain, which supposedly seeps into the sentients and makes them insane. I also forgot to mention this, but at the start of the trailer, the Hundra mentions that he remembers a world where the rain used to wash away the mistakes of the day, meaning he was here before the old Peace quest and wasn't one of the new sentients born here. We also get introduced to a thing called Blue Moons, which is basically just hard crack, which is great, meaning we could get high in Warframe. But this shows how the Hundra rose to power, as selling this would make him a millionaire, due to getting rid of the effects of the Black Rain, even though it's temporary. We do actually get to see what the Black Rain does in the trailer. as we see these sentients, I'm going to assume, coming back to life. This could be the faction of infestations on tap. This means that we could have at least 2 factions, just like we had with Scaldra and the Techrat, which would be great since we're getting a whole new origin system, hopefully. Briscoe also states that he's glad he's not on one of the old battlegrounds, as this proves my point that the Black Rain does revive or take control of warframes and sentients alike, meaning on one of the missions we could be exploring an old battlefield. In the trailer we do get to see how the sentients get around, and it's by flying cars. I find this very cool since it really does fit the atmosphere. It also shows that some sentients are built for certain purposes. For example, this one is a car. This also leads me to a question: how are the sentients being made? I like to believe that they're reproducing, but another idea I have is that the Hundra is actually making sentients in some sort of factory. I'd love to see us get an answer on this in the quest. We also get to see in this quest loot boxes. Yes, loot boxes. Now, I'm gonna hope that we won't have to use this in order to get materials to craft some of the weapons here, but I also see it could be just a gambling mechanic, which would be great. Or, even better, it'll give us limited time weapons that we can use in missions. We also get to see one of the coolest boss designs I've seen in this game. The twins. 2 sentients with half a brain each. And these will be the first boss we'll fight in the actual quest. Now, as we enter the Hunter's nest, you can tell instantly by the amazing music that this place is different to the slums. I mean, look at it. Also, I recommend listening to the music on its own. It's just so good. I'd also like to just say how well DE have done on creating this level. Like, oh my god, it's just so beautiful. I'd also like to point out how different the sentients here look than the ones in the slums. The ones in the slums are all bent over and they have pieces missing. But here, all these sentients are elegant, they're shiny, and they just don't look as hunched over as the others. I'd also like to point out during this time there is a black rainstorm happening, and these sentients don't care. There's no leaks or anything. I'd also like to point out how much this sentient looks like Jade, and I really hope she has an important part in the story. I'm also gonna let the next part play out so you can just get a vision for what I'm gonna say now.
Is that how you remember it?
Let me feel sunlight.
Adis, I'm sorry, but you're dying.
Tano? My light. You're taking it all.
Your light will both now.
Now, I'm gonna just say it, I don't believe that's Adis. But I do believe we'll have some memories of him when we're playing the quest. I do have a theory for this. I believe the operator is going to be tricked by the indifference to do something they're going to regret. And then it's going to cause some stuff in the story. I don't know. We finally do get to see the Hunter. And I do believe that this guy is from the old piece. As the way he talks, he states that we used to torture warframes. Now that's kind of it for the demo, as it's left on a cliffhanger if Virus loses a card game, which will result in his life being lost. So I'm going to get into some theories I might have. It's okay if you don't want to watch any of my theories, but I do want to thank you if you made it this far, and I really do appreciate if you guys would like or subscribe, as it'll help me in the future. Now, I did say that I was done with the demo, but I forgot about this one part, which will help me in one of my first theories. Now, you may be thinking, what's this got to do with any predictions? Well, I think I might know what the Indifferents want in town. Now, as you may or may not know, Entrati cut off multiple fingers of the Indifferents. But there is a text, I'm pretty sure in the Sanctum Atomica, stating that if the Indifference ever regains its fingers, it doesn't abide to the laws of time. And what is Entrati doing? Putting on a finger of a hand. This is a huge guess, but is one of the guesses that I think will work out. My next prediction is more like a Briscoe prediction, as I believe that he'll be the second Warframe that will be able to act on its own without us using it. Kind of like Excalibur Umbra, where if we go into operator mode, he'll still attack. This is kind of just a hope, but I do believe it would fit the story, as we clearly see him walking around without any transference. Now, I did plan to make a few more predictions or theories, but these are the only ones I'm kind of comfortable sharing with, as at the moment I don't want to go too high with my predictions. But if you have watched the video from start to end, I just want to say thank you. I know it's only around 12 minutes, but still, this means so much to me. And if I get anything wrong, please let me know, because I'm not really fact checking this, I'm just going off the knowledge I have after the game. So let me know in the comments if you want me to follow up on some other points, or if I'm missing anything important. Also, if you really like this content and want to see a lot more Warframe, let me know. But if I'm not uploading a lot, so I check out this guy called Raywire. He's really good, he makes great videos, and it's not just Warframe, but I highly recommend watching the Warframe ones.